Guess who's coming to sauna? Hekilunta. Guess who's coming to sauna? Hekilunta.
Welcome to a special episode of The Upper Bench. I say special because normally we're in different locations, but for this episode, we're in different countries. And I'll let Sam go ahead and introduce himself and then share where Eero is in this different country.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you everyone again for joining us today. Like Risto said, we've got a great episode here for you because we've sent Eero away, or he goes away on his own, but we sent him away to go meet our guest for today's episode. And Eero is across the pond. Eero, tell us where you're at and who you're with.
Yes, so I'm hello, first of all, hello everyone. So I am in Finland. I've been here for the past 3 weeks, and I'm in the Western Archipelago. And I'm in a little tiny village called Kustavi, Kustavi. And I'm actually at the Marina with a very lovely lady, a distant relative of mine whose name is Leontina Piccardi. Hello, Leontina.
Hi.
So she is running this marina, and obviously we're gonna talk. In the most of the talk that we're gonna do here today is talk about the marina, Leontina's operation here, and the fact of the matter that there's a very active sauna scene going on here. But first of all, before we start, so Leontina, as far as I can tell, is a Finnish person, but your name, Leontina Piccardi, doesn't sound too Finnish to me. So could you tell a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, well, actually, I'm married with the Italian guy, and we live in the Basque Country in the up north in Spain, Bilbao, in the city called Bilbao. I have been living there for the past 20 years. And the business here on Kustavi Island has been always run by my family. I'm the daughter, then my brother is here, and my mom and dad. And I always come back to Kustavi for the summer period, which is we are open. The guest harbor is open 3 months in a year. And I'm fully dedicating my life for this harbor.
and it shows too. Yeah, it's a beautiful marina. Unfortunately, we can't show you, but there's a lot of boats. Boats are coming in as we speak. And it's actually quite, I don't know if you can tell, but it's quite warm also in Kustavi today. But anyway,
are you able to turn the camera a little bit? Can we attempt to try that to get a picture?
Of course. Let me first turn like this way. So and please help me if you can't see, but that is one of the saunas that we have here. And then we turn around. So you can see a little bit. There are these hotel rooms, and now you can see there's a beautiful boat just coming in. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh yeah, that's great, wonderful.
Yeah. This is an old beautiful sailboat, and the marina goes a long way to that. Behind what we can't see. But anyway, so it's a very summery scene, and Finland is at its most beautiful on the month of July. So it's excellent.
Wonderful. Well, no, yeah, Eero, this looks great. And you're saying there's a sauna on top of it.
On top of it, yes, and that's what we want to talk about today. So it's like for North American, I think speak both of Canada and the United States. The idea of having a sauna at a marina is quite rare. That doesn't happen, probably not too often. So Leontina, how do you feel like, is this sauna, do people use it a lot when they come over?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like non-stop. So we have the sauna is on from 6 to 10 p.m. and it's non-stop. It's like it's always used, and as a matter of fact, the boats wouldn't even come to this harbor if we didn't have the sauna, because it's like ranked into one of those services that you need to go into sauna after a day of sailing or a week or whatever.
Is it?
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, and so when do people usually use the sauna? Before sailing, after sailing, both?
It's like after sailing, first they manage to put their ropes and organize their boat and so on, and then they hit the sauna, and it's a funny thing because the guys can stay there forever. They can be there like, I don't know, easily 2 hours, whereas the ladies, they are happy with 20 minutes or so yeah, the men love, it's the thing is that they have their six pack, I don't know, like the beer cans with them, and then they just talk lots of stories from where they've been to, which islands they've been visiting and so on, and then the evening goes by.
So it's kind of an after game, you would say, that they've been out like that one thing that we didn't mention to you guys yet, that there's a huge archipelago around here. So there's hundreds and hundreds of islands, and they go like from all the way from the eastern part of Finland to all the way to the Åland Islands next to Sweden.
Yeah, there's more than 30,000 islands between Finland and Sweden, so that's quite a lot.
That's quite a number of islands, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about the sauna. Is this an electric or wood burning sauna? Is there more than one? Maybe one for men, one for women, or is it communal?
Yeah. So the thing is that we like most 99.99 are naked, of course, because that's the Finnish style, and so we have for men and we have for women. So it's not a mixed. Like sometimes in Germany you can meet with these saunas where women and ladies are mixed and they are all naked, and that's a little bit weird for me. But for me as a Finn, I've always gone to saunas, naked with my parents and so on, so it's part of the it's like a supernatural thing. But here in the harbor, yes, we have it separated, and it makes it very just super relaxed. But nobody uses bathing suits, and every now and then if we get American customer or Italian or a Spanish or whatever, from wherever, they sort of they find it weird to like go there and naked. No.
Yeah.
Right.
But so I think it's optional. So you can also. Do you think that you can also use your bathing suit?
You're gonna be the weird one if you are, covering your body. To be honest.
So what's the setup inside like? Is there a washing room that's separate from the sauna?
Yes.
How many levels of benches? What is it? You can kind of give us a picture, and then also if we have some pictures, we'll insert them in our video right here.
Yeah. Okay. So we only have like, you have steps coming in, and then you only have like a one level to be sitting. But of course, I mean, if you find it too hot, then you just have to go to the second level, but nobody's using it, to be honest. So if it becomes too hot, you just go out and chill out for a while, because the thing is also that it's like you're throwing this water from the bucket into the hot stones, and yes, it's electric sauna heated with electric, because we don't have the capacity to go and put the woods all the time. It would be a non-stop operation. So it's too many hours. But of course, I mean, the wooden saunas are that's the best thing in the world. But we can't do it. Too much work.
So absolutely.
Let me ask. So let me ask you now, Leontina. So you have the sauna, and you also have you have hotel rooms. We saw here. You have one restaurant here, right? And it's like a lot of outdoor space behind us. And then obviously the Marina services, and then you have a couple of stores. Actually, you can buy clothes if you want, and then obviously food and drink and whatnot. Yeah.
So it's a guest harbor with full services.
Yeah.
But the sauna is like the heart of it. So we have two different type of saunas. So we also, if you want to rent your own, and just have your own family or friends, or a company comes with 20 guys and they say, hey, let's just have a sauna for our own, so we have the private one also.
Okay, yeah.
So there are two
Oh,
types.
cool. Is that like on a trailer and you can kind of bring it around?
No, it's a fixed, it's a
Okay.
big house.
They just reserve the right to be there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. That's it.
Very cool. Very cool. And then you had mentioned that you guys are pretty much only open for a few months a year. Is there anything in the off season? Is the sauna still rolling, or is there events or anything like that?
No, we closed down. We shut the whole resort, and then we are back in business again the 1st of June. So this is the thing, because we are our customers come with boats, and the boating season here, it's very short, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then the sea gets so cold, and during the winter you can actually do some ice skating here in the harbor if you're lucky. If it hasn't been snowing and it just gets really nice, and if it's not too windy, it's actually a very pretty sight to be here. With the kids, you can be roaming around with your ice skaters.
Many don't necessarily know, but are the and you can tell me the exact coordinates, but I would assume that our latitude is 60 where we speak now, and the longitude is about 61 or something, like close to that. But anyway, so we are quite high up north, which means that like in our case, for the first time in a long time, we've now been basically spending the most of the month of July and the midsummer we spent here in Finland. But the season is great, it's warm, but it's short. But that actually brings us to also kind of a discussion that we've had, like on our previous session, was about the summer and sauna, and there can't be a better summer and sauna combo than having a sauna at a marina.
Oh, that sounds like a dream, being out there, especially if it's cooler, or you're getting wind blown, or if the weather's bad, you got chilled to the bone, and you're coming in and you really just want to warm up and get clean and relax with friends and family. That sounds like the perfect combination.
Yeah, and it's such a tradition for the Finns. I don't know, you get these very, very tiny flats, not talking about the harbors, but if you go to Helsinki, to the capital, and you have so many mini flats that are maybe only 20 square meters, but they do have a sauna. So it tells you just that it's an obsession for the Finns.
Yeah, it is.
But
also,
do most marinas have saunas? And do most of the people that do sailing use the sauna?
100%, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure that I don't know if you saw this, but talking about the cold north, can you see that thing where people have been swinging around that floaty, the trampoline for like.
I think you need to go up. Oh yeah, there we go.
There we go. Yeah. The blue and white, big trampoline.
Yeah. So there's been, while we've been speaking, there's been a lot of people going around that trampoline. So it tells you something about the weather right now. So it's not bad. It's not bad.
Wonderful. Oh yeah, I'd be jumping right in. You'd see just a white streak go flying by. I'd be jumping right in that water.
So do people go in the water in between the sauna rounds?
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Many times. And, they do somersaults in the air, and, some of them take the stairs carefully, but, you have lots of, they love the fact of, having something hot and cold. Of course, it's not the best, option for your heart, but that's what.
I think it is actually.
Yeah.
I think it is. It's
oh yeah.
Talking about.
I would love it.
Yeah. Talking about health issues or health aspects of things. So do you serve like beer at the sauna, or how does? No, you don't. Okay.
No, yeah, we don't have the license.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So people are sauna bathing, maybe drinking water, and then maybe having a beer.
No, they take their own cans.
Bring your own. Yep.
Yeah.
Love it.
So you mentioned that people are out sailing during the day and visiting the many different islands. Do any of the islands happen to have saunas on them that people could sail up to and then use a sauna on an island somewhere?
Yeah, so there's quite many guest harbors in in many of these islands, and most of the guest harbors do have a sauna. But no, if you just go randomly to some lonely island out there, so most probably you won't find a sauna. Yeah.
Interesting. No, that would be fun. Yeah, have a little sauna out on an island, and a little community can come and party and have a good time, and that sounds like a blast.
So, but having said that, though, the thing is that I don't know where I'm going to end up. My part of, I said before, we are distant relatives, probably, we think, but the thing is that so part of my family is from around here. What I'm saying is that even though there are no public saunas per se where you can go to, but I do have a lot of friends. So if I would have a boat here in the Marina, I can easily ride my boat to my brother's place. Obviously, all of them have saunas. All of these places have saunas, private ones. So getting sauna bathing during the summer months is not a problem, in this neck of the woods.
Yeah. And then you have all different type of saunas. So the really nice one, a weird one, so could be the it's called, in Finnish it's called Savusauna, and it's, if you translate it, it's the smoky sauna. So it's all based on that you actually heat it with a lot of smoke. So you just sort of seal the whole sauna, and then just 5 minutes before entering, you just lift up the what do you call, like the windows or the air holes, and then all smoke goes out, and then you're ready to go in, and then you get this really smoky flavor into the air. It's an experience, and it's very smooth heat. It's not like what we have here. It's a whole different experience.
Before we started recording, Leontina was telling me that there's actually a very nice smoke sauna quite close to where we are as we speak. And so that might be, not probably during this trip, but that might be an idea to later on, maybe, do a special episode about that smoke sauna also.
That would be good.
Yeah, no, we've talked about how, that is something that not a lot of us, even sauna enthusiasts, have been able to enjoy, because there really aren't that many of them in the States. So highly recommend, if you've got the chance, take it.
Yeah,
sure.
And then we were also, remember, we were talking about these funny episodes that's been going on in the saunas. Like, for example, in the midsummer, that the people do their mikä se Vihta on?
It's like that birds. What do we call that? That Risto. What do we call the what's the official name? What's that?
The Vihta?
We are talking about the Vihta, but what is? We haven't decided.
Well, I think the name that people use most is whisk, but I'm on record as not loving that name. I don't love that name.
Yeah, that's scrambled eggs.
Yeah, whisk. Yeah.
But anyway, tell about that. Yeah, so people were whisking at or whatever, twigging.
Twigging or whisking or yeah. So that's for midsummer. It's like the tradition. So you are whisking, and so the guys' sauna, knowing that they are there hours and hours, and during the midsummer they were whisking each other, and so the day after, the cleaner lady from Peru. She's never been to Finland. She's only been here for 2 weeks, and she goes there and starts cleaning it, and it's full of birds' leaves. And she's like coming to me and is like, what is going on? You have like this thick layer of birds' leaves, and it took hours and hours for her to clean it up. And then the best part is when I told her that this is what's actually going on in the sauna during the mid hours, like the men are actually beating each other. And she was like, holy cow, you guys are mad.
She's gone too far north.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I told her, listen, like, go to sauna and enjoy it. It's lovely. And she was looking at me. I was like, hell no, there's no way I'm going to go in there.
Yeah. And it's so interesting. She can, I mean, people looking at it, you know, they see these people coming and going, they're sauning regularly, but they'll still stand on the outside. And if they never have been, they'll still go, nope, not for me.
Right.
Not for me. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you sometimes you just want to pick them up and just sit them down in there and say, just give me a minute. Just try it.
Yeah. But to be honest, it's like the weird part here maybe is that the foreigners find it very extremely strange is that we all are naked there and talking to each other, and it's like every time I go to sauna, we just start chit-chatting about, oh, how was your day out sailing there, and what was the wind like, and like what kind of a speed did you get in your maximum speed, lower speed, and then all that, what islands did you visit, and so on, and you're actually fully naked. And that's what the foreigners, I tried to get my mother-in-law from Italy, and it was impossible.
This is obviously a constant discussion particularly in the US, and it's just like, it's most of us in the US, we use our bathing suits and trunks and whatnot, and it's you get used to it, though. You get totally used to it, because if it's an issue, then it's an issue, and that's how it works. So would you see that like there will be, I hope, like quite many American people particularly watching this episode, so it's just like, is that like is that something that you could like maybe change, or that people like, you said that people with this swimming swimsuits are the weird ones, but how to make them mainstream, if they want it that way, or should there be like an hour where you can use a bathing suit? I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud here.
Yeah, well, the thing is that we are mostly, our visitors are mostly Finns, so I mean there's no point on making, and if we would have more foreigners coming in, and it would be an issue, of we would adapt accordingly. Hey, we have it for 6 to or from 5 to 6, and the rest of the Finns you have a party from 6 to 10, and that's okay.
Well, and I would encourage, fellow Americans to, like Eero is saying, like, wear a suit. It's okay if you stick out a little bit, but I would also say, like, try it without a suit. You might be surprised about how your experience is. You get over it really quick and you realize no one's there to see you. You're not the star of the show. You get over the nakedness really quick. So it becomes a non-issue.
Like in 2 seconds, seriously, because the guys, they're super curious here. The second you sit on the sauna, they start asking you, hey, where do you come from? And that's where the most questions come from. And as a matter of fact, in Finland, the most of the business, like the core businesses, the most important decisions, they've been made in the sauna. Even the ice hockey stadium in Helsinki, the big bosses are from wherever, they go and watch the ice hockey games in the sauna with the big windows, and do their
That's true. that bit, that's I used to, actually, I can't remember if I told you guys this before. I probably did, but so we had a very nice classic race boat here in Finland before we moved to the United States 25 years ago, and we used to race with that boat a lot. And that's something that has been so weird to me from the very start in New York, where I live, is that I've been to these fancy sail clubs, New York Yacht Club, I've been to American Yacht Club, and I don't, if they have a sauna, it's a very, if they even have one, it's a very small one, but kind of that social after game aspect, which is like, that's so important. Having said that, obviously, they have their bars, but that's not totally it. It doesn't cover that, and I didn't even think about, but that's exactly what happens at your sauna here. So it's not a race, but it's still like, where did you come from? How was your wind?
Yes,
your
it's a super socializing
yeah
event, and then the people mostly, you have the same interest. Oh, what are you sailing with? And like, oh, when did you buy it? And blah 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 blah. And
yeah
then the story, and it's a
yeah
never-ending story. You can talk hours and hours.
yes yes
Yeah, and there's something to be said. I mean, you go into the sauna and you're sitting down next to a guy, and he could have a $10 million boat and you could have a $3 dinghy, and you are the same guy sitting on the top bench enjoying a sauna. So that's a great communal spot.
that is so true. That is actually a very good point. It doesn't make you a better sauna bather whether you spent that 10 million bucks on your boat, on your yacht. That yeah, everybody's equal. That is so true. That's a good point.
No, and it's about sharing your experiences in Archipelago, because having more than 30,000 islands, you can imagine that there's a lot of routes, there's a lot of little nice places, even natural bays where you can go and just put your anchor. And so like, of course you're curious, like, oh, where have you been to? Have you found some really nice spots?
Yeah. So
That's cool.
so Leontina, tell about how people can, like, if people want to come here and try your sauna from North America. So how do they get information from you guys? So it's like you have a website, I believe.
Yeah. So it would be www.peterzens.fi.
So and it's Peterzens, Peterz, yeah, ZENS.fi.
Yes.
So that's and we actually let me just show you very
But it's
quickly.
all in Finnish.
It's all in Finnish. There's a boat coming in as we speak. I just wanted to show you that. So
yeah, we'll make sure to put links in the description below, as well as on our Facebook page. I'm sure Eero is going to be sharing a lot of great pictures from his trip, so make sure you stay tuned for more content from Eero. More and more will be coming from his awesome trip in Finland.
so any final, I think we're running out of our time, and I have to tell you, it's pretty warm here where we sit, which is kind of funny, but for Finland. But any final questions for Leontina? Any questions or points of view?
Leontina, you said you had married an Italian guy, and so did you introduce sauna to him, or was he already familiar living in and around Finland?
No, like he still finds it super weird. Like for him, it's like, hell no, I'm not going there. In the very first year when we were still just dating, he made an effort to go with my mom and dad. We would go, the whole family, and he would go fully naked. And he still, when we are with friends, he talks about this like he's completely traumatized.
Awesome.
There's a too big of a gap, from the Latin people to the Nordic crazy, So yeah.
Well, they could get into it. My wife is Cambodian, and my mother, so my in-laws are Cambodian, and my mother-in-law loves sauna, so it can happen.
It can happen.
I don't know what she thinks about the nakedness part. We use swimsuits, so
yeah.
Are there any boats that happen to have saunas on them? Is that a thing?
It's not a thing, but yes, you do have. I mean, I just had here one boat parked for a week, and the guy had his own little mini sauna, and I got the chance to see it also. It was hilarious because he had this little chimney coming up, like pretty high up. It was like 3 meters high up, so that it won't destroy the sails,
Oh, that's
and then it was like turned, in a way that if the wind blows, and he always had to think about the position of the boat and the wind coming in, and then the black smoke coming out from the sauna, that it won't like in any ways harm the white sails.
That's funny. It's a wood burning in the boat. That's that's something
that I would like to see. But you're right. I mean, you don't want to be cleaning sails after getting soot all over it. That's really interesting.
Oh, totally. Yes. Yeah.
For one thing, it's not a smoke sauna for sure. Anyway, so I think we're running out of time here, but unless any more questions from you guys, I'm going to thank Leontina Piccardi for this wonderful chance to talk to her. and I will, give you guys a full report and send you some pictures your way.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us and taking time to show Eero around. And that is great. I can't wait to get to see these islands. I mean, it sounds like I'm not going to see them all, but I can't wait to come see the area someday.
Oh, any day you're always most welcome to visit our island.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
And let me just finish by telling you that. So I'm a 20-minute walk from here, and I'm surrounded by farmland. But I've been sauna bathing every day I've been around, and there's going to be a sauna hut waiting for me once I get back to the house. Thank you, guys.
Jealous. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the trip, Eero. Stay safe out there. Thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.